Okay, so this is definitely much different than anything that I would usually make. Um, and this is because this is a lot more of a more serious video. Uh, so this topic is very personal to me, also very stressful for me. People, my viewers are free to ask um, questions and whatnot. Uh, the reason why I'm doing this in a live stream format as opposed to a video format is because there's a lot of information with the accusations, the document, and everything that has been happening. In order to edit a video, it would be a very long endeavor, which, to be frank, I am not sure if I can handle. Um, so I decided to do this in a live stream format. Um, so that's how I will be going about this. Let me just link this live stream to my Discord server. Alright. So I do sound a bit nervous, I think. Um so let me just so this don't expect me to be as snappy as I might typically be. So the first thing that I think I should do is I did have some sort of script or a documentary that I had planned, and so perhaps I could just read what I have. Uh, sorry, this is a pretty cute cow. Um, okay. uh. Sorry. Recently, I came to a oh, okay. So I guess I could just I did have this document of stuff that I guess I could just like show this just the document. Uh, Maybe I could download it as a PDF so it'll look a little nicer though. Or I should probably change it to Times New Roman too, so it looks a little bit more professional instead of Arial font. Um, Once again, sorry that I do sound very shaky. Okay. Recently, I came to a powerful realization, one that is both soul, soul, soul crushing and spirit lifting. I realized that I matter, that I too am a human being worthy of care, love, and respect. For so long, I viewed myself through the lens of self-judgment, but then I asked myself, what if I were looking at another person? If I saw someone struggling as I have, how would I treat them? With kindness, with patience, with compassion. didn't hit me. I deserve that same kindness, that same patience, that same love. So I started to look. So I started to take care of myself, not because I was obligated to, but because I deserved it. Scribble Nation said, when I was a kid, I used to think you were cool. Sorry, I just like my mind's coming to. Just everything feels so foggy. Just no, jeez, man. Golden Sigming asks, will we be able to own the monsters, or should we just let them rot? I want people to feel free to do whatever they want with my monsters. That doesn't mean owning them. However, I want people to feel free to use my characters however they please. So, yeah. So if you want to make things with my characters, you can. You don't have to. Oh, I probably won't even ask for credit. So, just don't use my stuff. Yeah, I found it weird to reclaim things in the community, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's better to just make new characters, but I understand why people are attached to certain characters, like the Kala, for example. I just can't, handle that, seeing that monster anymore because of my history with that person. So, let me just go through this. I don't want to skip through this part. I mostly just talked about how I felt like that. I felt like the way that I'm being treated is inhumane, to put simply. I I know that a lot of people are still on this whole train of MantisGirl as some sort of pedophile or that I'm abusive or whatnot, but I don't think any of that is true whatsoever. I guess what I want to first go through is the document. Um, let's see. I don't know if I have a copy. Um, hold on. Let me move this so I don't accidentally reveal anything bad. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to look for it. Uh, sorry. Sorry that I'm taking so long. Just. Okay. The document. A message for Mantis Girl. Hello, Mantis. You have been struggling deeply with your mental health, and with people hurting you back to back for years, and everything said and done in this document as a result of that. However, please do not take this document as a sign to hurt yourself or hurt others. Your life is deeply valuable, even if you have hurt people greatly. This document is written out of a concern for your mental health and out of a deep concern, care for your safety by every contributor to this document. We want you to heal and want you to be able to live past everything that has happened, but that cannot happen as you continue to have a platform. Your platform is incentivizing you to hurt yourself and others who are not involved, and is actively hampering your ability to heal from everything that has happened in your life thus far. Do not take this as a sign to hurt yourself. Please take care of yourself, take deep breaths, and drink water if you are feeling stressed or under pressure. If you have not taken your medication yet, take a self-unhealthy dosage of it. You're not broken or permanently tainted or anything of the sort. There's help out there for you, and there will always be someone out there who cares and loves for you. This document was not written by or affiliated with the Shmoo crew. It was made by former friends of and people affected by Mantis and her behavior. This document was created for the sake of their concern for Mantis's health. And this is the trigger warning of the doc: grooming, emotional manipulation, child sexual assault, gore, animal death, and self-harm. So Golden Sigmink asks, are my monsters in the public domain of fan-made MSM monsters? I wouldn't say that they are in the public domain, because I politely ask people. I guess they're in the public domain, but they're not. I wouldn't say they're in the public domain, but they might as well be, because you can pretty much do whatever you want with them. I do politely ask that you don't drop, NSFW or like porn with them. But, that's, yeah, I have some storm ambience playing. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit more relaxing. This document will include some sexual imagery. It will be as censored and cropped as possible. There are several individuals who will remain censored in this document. And, of course, so, back then, I created the name Poppy Pain as a name for myself, but also to try to avoid harassment from the people who made this doc, the Q crew, and people like associated with Exclaim, now known as Melody. So them revealing my name Poppy is like, I specifically chose that name to avoid harassment, and to get out of the MSM community. And then they just kind of exposed my name. So, and this is something that people who I privately told me, hey, I'm trying to get away from the MSM community. I'm gonna be Poppy now, and yeah. So this was probably either DM. This was probably either DM to Lomina or Exclaim or something, or somebody else. But that's why the name Poppy Payne was chosen, and I still go by Poppy. IRL, I typically address myself as Poppy. The only people who call me Mantis are people who knew me before I chose the name Poppy. Background. So, I think this document was in response to me making this campaign of trying to get Abed Shark. I might have pronounced the name wrong, but honestly, I kind of don't give a crap. I think this document was made in response to that. How I was starting to call out Abed a little bit. At this time, I think I was starting to come to terms with Abed not really being that good of a person. So, okay. all of the proof are screen. Okay, so this is the evidence that I provided back then, and what I pretty much did was just show, like, put like a bunch of screenshots of Abed posting here. Oh sheesh. Okay, so maybe I should go through these screenshots first. Actually, I'm totally Evie. If people are here to harass me, I actually encourage them to stay because I really want people to hear what's going on here. Um, because I feel like it's actually pretty important. Because I feel like even though I'm a bit of an influencer, um, I feel like I kind of have a little bit of a duty to help show people how to treat people right. And um, so that's why I feel like it's so important to talk about this because he's somebody who took advantage of me in a way that is absolutely abhorrent. And I think it's important to address the situation properly. Um, okay, I'll hold on. Okay, Zero wants to get onto the stream, so I will, let me just create a voice channel for it. Okay. Right. Let's see what this Russian.
Okay, let me pause the stream so I don't hear myself echoing. Oh man, I really have been wanting to say stuff about this for a while. Uh, uh, hello stream. My name is I'm Zero VGM. I'm not really associated with My Singing Monsters as much as I used to, like 4 years ago. Um, I personally, I just think a lot of the stuff that's happening is kind of stupid. And there's definitely a little bit of exaggeration going on. Like I wish like some stuff could be resolved and shit, but uh, whew, what do I want to say? I do want to say something about the whole video that Demo Cheese posted, or however I pronounce, or how do I pronounce that? Demo Cheese. Aside from
I
that,
have no idea how to pronounce it.
I just think that was a little bit of an exaggeration, saying that Poppy committed a felony. Um, which isn't really true. Um, those photos were meant for, as said, figure art, figure drawing anatomy. If you know all that stuff, you know. And that was
Yeah.
like for a way you can learn anatomy and stuff. And she wasn't really like naked; she was covered in all that.
Yeah. Also, a
But
lot of the photos were just. Yeah, most of the photos there weren't even of naked people. They were kind of. They're either of
they
people
were
in
censored.
swimsuits or just either more tight clothing. Um,
And even if they were just censored
yeah.
from what I've seen. But for the main thing that's been happening, I just don't think it's moral to, expose someone for trying to, expose a grouper. I think that's a little bit immoral. And yeah, I don't really agree with a lot of the stuff that's in the document. Like, but from what I know, a lot of the bad stuff in there that Poppy's done was a result of, the bad stuff she went through. That's from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But
I honestly, like, with the document, right? There's some stuff in here which is like, I feel like people are totally fine for bringing up. But my problem with
Mhm,
the doc is that a lot of this doc has been made to, even though that's not what the document first says here, there is a whole sections on trying to defend Abed, which is just like
mhm.
absolutely nuts to me.
Yeah, that's a little bit nuts.
And then on top of that, I was trying, like, it seems like people were trying to, say that I was acting very sexual to people that I didn't really have sexual relationships with, like Lomina and Jello. I really don't remember doing, like,
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember even seeing that in the doc. Actually, I should probably reread that. But
um, because let's let's see here. Yeah, because there's like extortion, manipulation, and sexual behavior towards Jello. And so,
yeah,
okay, I will ask this question and give my additional thoughts. Why didn't you post the screens of Abed treating you like a sex puppet? And I ask that because by the ology that what you did post was an instance of him making a sexual advancement on you personally. Uh, Again, it wasn't specifically sex driven, mind you, but we have talked about sexual topics. So, uh, and I like, again, keyword. It wasn't like sex driven. Um, it was either something personal, like about attraction or about abuse or whatnot. So that's what Jello was probably referring to with sexual topics, but not like I didn't do anything inappropriate like that. And
I'm
all
thinking about the doc too. I've noticed there's a little bit of filler from what I've seen, like the Dexel or Pokedex thing.
oh yeah,
Um,
there's so much filler in this document that just
yeah,
doesn't
there's a
need to
little bit
be
of
in here.
filler.
Um,
Like the preserved animal was not really that big of a deal. I don't think.
Additionally, they make a point that Jello was 17. At the time of this document was written, I either just turned 18 because this was 2 years ago, or was still 17. So, like, let's see, this was in the 10th of 2022. So that was 3 years. That was like, yeah, I would have been 17 when this message was posted. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I am reading the chat a little bit.
Um, so, there's also this um people there's also this claim that I try to extort Jello. What happened
I have no
was
idea about that.
I bought them moho and I asked them, "Hey, could you pay me back? If not, that's fine, but this is really not a purchase that I could make right now, so please pay me back." So she agreed to start a Fiverr account to try and pay me back, and then she cut me off. Um, So I try to talk to her to get to refunding Moho because I really needed a couple $100 to be able to afford therapy, which I did buy. So, um,
Um, just pirate moho. So, I mean, like,
I used to, I was, or I try to buy things as legally as I can. I so that's all I'll
I
say.
have I have like no clue on what happened between you and Jello. I don't even think I remember that much. Um, I'm not really
Well,
gonna state my opinion on that.
yeah, that's fine. It's you don't have to. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that buying somebody moho, asking them to pay it back, but saying that it's fine if they're not able to do it immediately is extortion. And then asking if we could refund the software. I really do not think that's extortion. Uh, that's just my personal. What the? Who is this person? Why are
What person?
they
Like what?
Sandown Plays? This is
What?
creepy. Uh, oh my god.
Wait, what? Wait. Oh.
It's like,
Oh, this guy. This is weird.
is this like goat sand?
Oh
Uh,
my god.
uh, I presented to minors and a servant by Allah Mantis. Uh,
Are you translating that?
a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna hide this user. I I am just worried that it might be one of like Abed's like incest family gooners or whatever. I don't want to deal with that. I really don't.
Yeah.
um. Yeah. Uh. Yeah. Abed came from like Abed's I think family came from the Middle East or something, and like they're also Muslim. I'm pretty sure, and the, like I don't know, either Abed's dad was like and mom were like cousins or something, like or like siblings. I don't know. Um, oh no, there's construction going out. Don't worry, it's not my smoke alarm. And if it was my smoke alarm, it probably wouldn't be from a fire.
Same here. Same here. I got construction outside. I think. Fucking. I don't even know.
Um, Evie wants to join the call, so I'm gonna bump up the user
Who?
limit here. Um,
Oh, Derpy.
Evie. Sorry.
Oh, Evie. Okay.
Who's gonna bring Fubby Force back? Bless my kind and friendly spirit. You know, even though I'm really mad at Jello for accusing me of extortion, I still really freaking miss them. Like,
Yeah.
a lot. They were a really terrible friend. They were like a total. I I don't blame them for it, but a lot of friends were just like, I can't be honest about what's happening because uh people are gonna stop being friends with me, and then it's like, I don't know. I feel like that behavior was just very pathetic and lame. Um,
I've seen Fish Champion say art model and it's naked people in a server full of minors. That's literally used for. I don't know if you knew. I don't know if you know what figure drawing is. It's a form of art where like you draw, that stuff. And
okay,
no, not that stuff. It's like a reference where you draw like anatomy.
Definitely.
It's a way to learn anatomy.
They're watching on
imagine
like
if
TV.
I
Yeah.
feel like
You know,
okay, I'm gonna post like an anatomy picture, so probably look away if like organs disturb you. But imagine going into a science class, seeing this, and then like pissing your
Yeah.
pants because the
oh
model
shit.
is
How do I
naked.
like
Like that's
I
a
have these.
very
I have that in
common.
my science class.
Yeah,
I
and then
have it
like
in
hang
my
on, I'll
science
bring
class.
or like Michelangelo David with like his schlong censored, and then like freaking out over that. Like, uh, uh have you gone outside? Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's
it's
very
definitely a little bit
weird
of an
behavior to
exaggeration.
me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, because almost everybody's seen this picture before, and like at school, unless you're
I'm reading chat.
homeschooled.
I'm reading
So
chat. It's like kids being shocked at seeing penis in a science textbook.
it, it's very very odd behavior to me.
Oh my
god! Wait, I
So
didn't even know that'd be
Demochi
that
is
loud.
saying I commit a felon.
My bad.
What about
Yeah.
every single? What about like doctors with PhDs who wrote about a penis in a science textbook? Are we
What about
sending them all to
teachers?
prison
Like,
now? Like,
what about art teachers? Come on.
and art teachers, you know. I don't want to say that people's feelings about how the human body feels inappropriate to them are invalid.
Like, just remember, in schools, this stuff isn't censored usually. This stuff is not usually censored in school.
Well, it might also depend on the school, but
Yeah,
or the teacher. But
yeah,
I have seen like unexposed genitalia at school in educational
yeah,
material in the right
yeah,
context. Um, and another thing too is it's also like I feel like even if you find nude bodies appalling, I feel like you should still have respect for figure models because the intention for figure models is very much not sexual. I think it's very
yeah,
inappropriate to sexualize
yeah,
figure models because they're definitely not doing it for sex.
yeah. They're not doing it to, look good, to the male appeal.
Yeah.
Spamming your name, Evie, by the way.
Bishchamp
I think
BB
they need you.
Bishchamp threaded to me? What the heck? I don't know why there's
Whoa,
a
what the
mixing
fuck?
in chat.
Oh, you didn't
Um,
realize you were muted?
but
Oh, you didn't realize you were muted?
No,
see,
I was muted because I was trying to figure something out.
That
this
was the latest
conversation's
delay
really
ever.
strange because what happened
How do I
here
turn
was that I
myself down? I'm too
was.
loud.
Oh,
Oh, wait, there we go.
And
Hopefully that fixes it. Okay, that's much better. No, the echo. God. Oh, yeah.
oh, this dead animal, by the way, it's literally a gecko
oh
that's been
yeah,
preserved in alcohol.
yeah,
I don't know why this is the first thing they brought. Or, okay, this is
yeah.
okay. So outside of the background, this is the first thing they chose to, or after the prior actions.
Whoa, holy shit! Not the Discord message you sent when you were like fucking 15! Goodness gracious! Goodness gracious!
Hold on, I need to take a breath. Oh my god. I wonder if anybody is actually gonna watch this video. We'll see.
Someone's probably watching.
A few people are watching it, so that's nice. I don't know if
Someone
people
important.
still, but I definitely this live stream might be broken into several parts, and I might
The
make a
only
video
people
summarizing it
really.
because I really want to get all this drama stuff over with and probably do it in the most comfortable fashion possible. So
A little bit of. I only recognize two people from this chat.
yeah, it's a
But
bit
yeah,
early too. I think that's why there's not a lot of viewers right now. Or
2 p.m. for me.
so sorry that I took a lot of time to just like breathe and just process things because it's like So
I
it's
think
a very boring
there's a
live stream,
common
I think.
thing the MSM community does. I mean, didn't you get permission to use Dexel? Like either from like Galaxy or I don't even know. I don't remember.
Well, Dexel's kind of my own creation, so
Yeah, from what I've seen.
yeah.
Dexel,
I tried to
not
like
bad. Man.
lean more into the stuff that I animated rather than the stuff that was in the design before. Um,
Yeah, from what I've seen in the game, the Sound Makers game that I work on, flexing real quick. Um,
I could just show
Dexel is
Dexel's
not.
design, by the way.
Yeah, he's nothing like how Sebas made him. From what I've
So,
seen.
let me just get the original Vocodex drawing from the upbeat vocal contest.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could find it since that video has been deleted.
What video?
The original anything Sebas posted.
Oh,
Let's see. I'm just gonna look up
the Voc. Yes, that
Vocodex.
is Voc. That is Dexel.
Yeah. Uh. Oh my gosh, what is this? There's like
With what?
fetish Vocodex transformation art.
What
What
the fuck?
is? Oh
Oh
gosh.
no.
Aside from that, moving on.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to get the oldest picture of Vocodex I can find. So,
The Dexel. Dokodex of the
so
island one.
I don't really. So this is the old Vocodex design.
Yeah.
Some things that are kind of similar is that I guess it's a humanoid form. I guess. But I try to change a lot of things about fun that were kind of fundamental. I wanted
Mhm.
to I wanted it to be very reminiscent and have like a similar head shape, but I try to make it as different as possible whilst having two spiky things and a long mouth stuff. But I feel like these two designs give very different vibes. So, honestly, the design on the left is much more reminiscent of the Hylics guy than Vocodex at this point. But that's just me.
Megan, what does Dokodex have to do with you liking young children? Where does it come from?
Uh,
Where
I
does where does that come from?
I do
I don't
not
like.
like young children
And Sam Powell, what's Sam Powell saying?
at
No,
all.
really?
Okay.
Sam
So,
Powell.
um, okay. Let's see. There is this one screenshot. Okay, before Olivia was removed to the community, in doing so, she claimed that she was a pedophile and was into lollygore in her own words and had caused many insults from her.
Oh, let me think about the real stuff. You're not apologizing for your accident. It doesn't matter. You don't. Content easily accessible to things. The channel was age restricted, minors can go. I literally just like 10 minutes ago, I responded to that. Like
Okay,
that was figure art
so
for anatomy.
okay, so this so a lot of people have okay lollygore.
I've been here this whole time, and there has not been any sort of debunk. What is there to debunk? Like we've already like debunked a lot of shit. Like I'd say like
So back then, um, dang, this has been a long time ago. when a lot of this stuff was happening,
With what actual
this was
proof? What proof do we need
after.
to give you? We're literally saying, like, all we're saying is that it was not meant to be NSFW. It was for anatomy references.
Let me see if I could just get some of the pictures that were actually used so people can get an idea. Because Evie did
Ooh.
delete their channels, however,
I did delete the channels because I was tired of everyone yelling at me. Even though I wanted to do it, I just wanted to know if you would want that.
yeah. I do have a folder here of some of like the pictures that I have on here. So the first picture was this one. In the channel, it was Aisha Speed pregnant.
The pictures
Okay.
in lingerie. What lingerie?
Oh my
I've literally
God.
seen all this. I've
It's
seen all this. What
everything.
lingerie?
Okay,
What
this is one of
lingerie?
the pictures
What
in
is
the
this?
fat channel. This was just a muscular guy flexing, completely fine. This is another photo of an Asian guy putting on a shirt. Right,
Pictures of
very
you lingerie. There was
standard
no
stuff.
lingerie.
Right,
There was wait. There was
and
literally
maybe
no lingerie. Where
this
did
is
this
a
come from?
swimsuit. Right, this is not like
Yeah,
this is just a woman. Right, this is
yeah.
for reference for drawing. This is not NSFW. Right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of pictures like this. There's also this one, right? This is just from my fat folder, which I have collected. Um, uh, I we have this photo with this person shocked by their belly size. Uh, um, let's see, we have this old guy sitting down. So like these photos are not, you know, maybe you could say something about this picture, but ultimately she's just chilling. She's at a public beach, right? This is
This
not an
champion said
inappropriate.
bare butts. Where?
It's just a
Where?
butt.
Where was that? Yeah, that was.
So
That's like.
like you could say
Okay,
that
I'm a little bit iffy about this. I'm a little
Can
bit
you like?
iffy on me personally. I've been a little bit iffy, but it's really like not that wrong.
if you go out, it's nothing that you're not going to be able to see if you just go outside and
Yeah.
like touch grass. In my opinion. Like I can understand why some people are find the photos a little bit too revealing for them.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say just don't go into the channels then.
As
Yeah,
someone MSM
I'm
said,
gonna fucking blame this guy because
people
shut
can
the
make an
hell
account
up.
over 18 despite being like 12. That is a very common problem on the internet. That is very common. There's not really anything you can do to avoid that aside from just not doing it.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna
Fucking
say that Mantis committed a felony, then you could probably say that Tom Fulp committed a felony for that being on Newgrounds. And Elon being a felony. I mean, Elon being a felon for lying about
Elon's
that.
probably a felon, though. Let's be perfectly honest.
It's not. It wasn't an NSFW channel either.
Okay, if people can lie about their age on Discord, then why are you blaming her?
Yeah.
Blame Discord.
It
She
wasn't
didn't
even
make Discord.
NSFW either. That's the thing.
A lot of what people are saying is that minors could look at porn, and we have no proof of that actually happening. But because it could happen, that means you're a bad person. I don't know. I don't really post anything that is inappropriate for people, or and I
Okay,
try to
segment
stay
your
away from
Discord.
like
Oh
very
my God.
sexual content because of my background. I know that a lot of things that I draw might feel a little bit suggestive to people, which is why I try to have like a content warning as much as possible. But I don't really have much sexual intentions with the stuff that I draw, and I don't want people to be
Just a question: why even make the channel in the first place? They can
like.
find their own references without any help. That's.
Well, it's
You know
also
what?
for myself too.
I'll actually somewhat agree with that.
It was
Sailor
convenient.
Sharky. somewhat
I
agree
like
with
having
that.
a channel with a lot of like photos to use reference from.
Yeah. But the thing is, to make it role accessible, and it's not NSFW. As I said, it wasn't NSFW. Like, exactly. It's
Suggestive, yes, but full on NSFW, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So kind of stupid.
Though there's sort of a thin line between the two, I wouldn't like say
And these are
definitively. No,
genuinely
that's
talented people, like artists. So I'm kind of a little bit surprised.
Also, the reason why the channels were made NSFW is just because of like Discord's like bot
It
content
was not
clicking and
NSFW.
stuff.
Literally
However, the
wasn't.
channels themselves weren't actually NSFW.
You talk about subpar content, Fish Champion, yet like a grand majority of the MSM community is subpar in my opinion.
I think it's stupid.
So your point?
People shouldn't defend me for my content. They should defend me because I'm a person.
Yeah,
Which is kind of a little bit of a sad thing. Is that either I'm not really viewed as a person. I'm kind of viewed as a tool that spits out content. I feel just kind of sad.
Okay. One thing I want to say: the channels they were a very dumb idea.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Like, the things should not.
Sailor Sharky said, as Sailor Sharky said, I mean, people could have just found their own references. I definitely agree with that. I do agree that it wasn't like shouldn't be there, but at the same time, that was not Poppy's intention. That was literally like she didn't see that as weird, and she even like said like if this comes off remotely weird, then we should tell her because she doesn't know what any of that really.
Can
Like,
you
what I'm trying to
stop
say here,
fucking spamming? Jesus Christ!
like what? Stop. As I was saying, like TLDR, Poppy doesn't know sex lore. Like,
Yeah, I'm kind of
that's
a
all I gotta
moron
say.
when it comes to sex stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still an adult. I can handle myself, but yeah, I always try to avoid sexual interactions because it's pretty confusing and stressful for me, if I want to be perfectly honest. Which is, I was friends with some people, and their server was called the Coom Sanctuary. Now, there wasn't any actual cooming or gooning going on in the server, at least not anymore. My friend put an end to all of that when he got a girlfriend who he then broke up with, but I don't even say a girlfriend, it was more of a crush, but like still he did give her $900. But anyway, Mantis friend group T. I left that server because I honestly couldn't handle sex jokes anymore, and I've made that very apparent with almost anybody I'm friends with, that it's just something that became very confusing for me. So I definitely try to avoid that nowadays. This stream is legit just you digging your own grave, bro. You haven't really
I mean, we're kind of
debunked anything.
clarifying
You
some
just
stuff.
went
It's not
through
really.
the document and said nothing of note. Okay, I think now I should probably start to get into actually like some of the evidence stuff, because some people think I'm full of shit. Sorry, pardon my language. Oh my god, why is my eye drive there?
MSM fans, when they have to watch something for more than an hour.
Yeah. Drop the Mantis persona and do something else, I beg. Let me just ask at sample. What? Okay. So I think I had about 12. I have like about 12 documents of stuff that's happened here.
I think they're talking about that fucking Discord screenshot in particular.
That screen. Address the dead
Address the
lizard.
dead lizard. We already did.
God fucking damn it.
I
We already
buried it.
did.
I had a burial service on. If you look,
That
at,
too.
I had
We
a
already
burial
we already
service.
talked about that. Like we already
Open your
talked about
ears,
that 30
man.
minutes ago.
Yeah. And also, by the way, I wasn't the one who killed it. My cat did. I just preserved it and studied it because I didn't want that death to be nothing. Oh my god, sample. Oh my god. Crystal, you don't need to yell at them. Oh my god.
Crystal. Yeah, Crystal, you're doing a little bit too much. A lot of you
Just said
said
to
you
study
maybe
it,
did too much.
Sonic Ultimate.
Okay, but if your cat did die and you sent his corpse, like if you taxidermy the cat, I wouldn't find a problem with that. But maybe that's just because we have a different perspective. I don't. If you're not comfortable with that imagery, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like we should be open to how people grieve and how people react to dead things. Because, yeah.
Sailor Shark, you said preserving things for science is fine. I pin insects to preserve their beauty.
And, me personally, if I died, I'd want my organs harvested or to be studied for science. That is,
Whoa.
much more appealing than being
You get a lot of money from that shit, though.
What?
You get a lot of money for that shit, so. But yeah, there's nothing much wrong with that.
I understand that some people find it very disturbing, though, or macabre.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit disturbing, but it's not immoral. Probably not in any way.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are talking about studying animals, fucking bodies, because
So apparently we need to address a lot of that for some reason.
Because science is not a thing.
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know
as long as you're sourcing your specimens ethically. So...
I didn't know MSM community was Christian. Holy shit.
Oh, there are some Christians.
There.
Stellar Serio and Andrew, I'm pretty sure they're Christian. Pretty sure.
Sample said, could you also talk about when you pinged your server and was like, do you want to see my OC naked?
Yeah, okay. So, I would say that I was going...
Yeah, I was a little bit mad at me.
I've been reading a lot on complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I've been talking with my therapist about it. A lot of people might not be aware of what post-traumatic stress disorder is. Let me just go into complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Let's look on the Cleveland Clinic right here. So, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Let me just share my screen so you can actually see what I'm putting. Let me.
I'll read when Poppy's done explaining this. I'll read what you said in a second.
Okay. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder can result from experiencing chronic trauma, such as prolonged child abuse or domestic violence. It's closely related to PTSD and borderline personality disorder. CPTSD is
What?
manageable with psychotherapy and medication. Now, borderline personality disorder. So let's say here. Hard to function, impulsiveness, strong fear of abandonment. So, I don't remember being told that I have borderline personality disorder, but I very likely probably have bipolar disorder. From my therapist, at least that's what she said. Formerly called manic depressive disorder. I don't really know the difference
Trauma is
between
different for
bipolar.
different people.
Yeah, if you have sexual trauma, that stuff's gonna happen.
Let's see. Share some symptoms, particularly but the distinct conditions with bipolar disorders and mood disorder marked by persistent emotional difficulties, impulsivity, and unstable relationships. Now, keep in mind, people can have multiple mental illnesses at once. I was like, talking to my therapist. I was like, man, it doesn't make sense. Like, how come I have so many symptoms from these different mental illnesses? Well, then she said, I probably have like more than one.
You should probably clarify that you're not defending any of this. Obviously,
Did she
but
not
yeah,
say
Well, first,
1812
I'm
only?
just talking about like mental
yeah.
disorders right now. So complex post traumatic disorder. Some of the symptoms are anxiety, having flashbacks or nightmares, avoiding situations related to the traumatic event, heightened emotional responses such as impulsivity or aggressiveness, persistent difficulties in sustaining relationships. Examples of chronic trauma include long-term child physical or sexual abuse. 3 years. So I think that I didn't experience an isolated event. I experienced events that happened over 3 years consistently. Um, Additionally, I did have a lot of, uh, yeah. So I also did end up looking at a lot of people
Sample
being
said,
murdered and
what's
tortured,
so
but
Sample
yeah.
asked, "What's so hard about just apologizing instead of trying to defend it? You don't need to defend your actions. Any of apology to show some sort of change would just be lovely." Pretty sure she did like twice
Well,
on
first
her YouTube
off,
channel and SoundCloud.
what would I even be apologizing? That's I can't
I
apologize.
think, yeah, yeah. What you did was definitely not the best. Definitely, like when
I
I
think
would
there's a
compelled us
lot
to
of
talk about
things that I
PTSD.
didn't do that I did very badly, and um, now post traumatic having traumatic flashbacks doesn't mean that the pain that people experienced with me isn't real, right? Um, and I don't want to act like their feelings are invalid in any way. Um, because I understand how painful the situations might have been, even if it wasn't, even even though I didn't, I was also going through a lot. Um, and the reason why I think the complex post traumatic stress disorder is
No, Slither Sharky said, "No one is asking you to restart your whole life. We just want you to acknowledge that a lot of the choices weren't the best." Actually, yeah, there's a lot of people who are trying to de-platform Poppy, even who said in the document that they're trying to get her off the platform. I think that's a little bit too much. Like, the thing that was affecting her mental health was not her channel.
yeah.
I think that's a
it
little bit
was
too
I was
much.
being sexually abused, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, and like honestly, I'm just tired of people calling me a pedophile and harassing my friends and making people feel scared. And, you know, people being scared to interact with me. That's why I'm really sad because I also lost a lot of friends too. I just miss them. Um, even though they were crappy. Oh my gosh, I have a lot of over over. Sorry, I can't talk about that. My bad. You should be the one to realize why whatever actions you did was bad, not us. There's something I already do. I already have to live with the things that I have done, and I'm going to therapy, and I, I, you know, if, if, again, Sample, you're the one who has said that I should apologize in the first place. But if you don't even want to say what you want me to apologize, why even bring that up in the first place?
I think Taco Cat, if you don't even know what you should be apologizing for, then you should have not changed it at all. That's a little bit too much. I literally know Poppy. I think there's like a lot, like, yeah, a lot of like the weird stuff that she's been doing. She has not been doing that. Like, like, here's what Leo said on the server. Hey, Leo the Noggin here. I'm gonna be really honest. I'm friends with MantisGirl. She's aware that he is 16. He did not send him. He did not send me anything explicit. We've been friends for like 2 years, but there wasn't any suggested things. I've been defense of MantisGirl. I've known her since 2022. Like I said, she did not do anything terrible to me. I hope you can all understand it.
My problem with apologizing needlessly is that when I describe the situation that happened and what I actually feel guilty about, people don't really
Yeah.
feel satisfied with that. They want me to say something like, and again, this is something that I talked about the other night.
Sample,
Is
you
that
don't feel like those.
I had
We
about
really just, we
5
really just have
ways of approaching the situation about dealing with the situation. Number one is legal. This method has a particular benefit of not requiring any public stunt. I can be anonymous if I take things legally. My main concern, if I sue for damages, is that I might be viewed more as a villain than a hero for working with the justice system. And also, there is the real possibility of Abed being deported. And I don't want to take advantage of that, okay? I would rather have something more fair and have a prison sentence or something. Number two would be to make a bull crap apology. What a lot of people want to hear is that
clarification.
I am sorry for
That's
spreading misinformation about Abed. I feel like that's what a lot of people want to hear. However, that is not true. So I cannot say that. And a lot of my friends have also agreed with that. If I say that Abed never did anything wrong, I would be lying to myself. Um, it, so that's that's why I ultimately didn't end up doing that. Um,
Not worth your time, Sample, then go somewhere else. You don't have to be here.
I want to say something to you, Simple. People usually do say sorry. It's kind of like not enough because people want clarification more than a full-on apology. Because people like from people like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whoever made that one apology, people are not really going to listen to like an apology. People are not going to listen to that. And that kind of sucks. And I have no idea.
Yeah. Will Sebas87 come back? No. He hit a child. I
Sample
don't
said you're
think he
defending a
is.
nonce. I don't want clarification. I want an apology and why you're sorry. There was an apology, like actually a while back.
Yeah,
Let me go
I
back to it.
apologize like
Yeah,
multiple
there was
times
already
a
an
long
apology. You can
time
go back
ago.
on the channel.
And by the way, I apologize for what I did when I was how old was I? 15, 16, and 17. I was interacting with a lot of pedophiles. Okay, they were taking advantage of me, and I was seeing a lot of porn. I was seeing porn every day of my own characters and of other people's characters, sometimes created by minors. There was also other children involved in the sexual community that was taking place in the MSM community back then. And I was a part of that. A lot of people were a part of that. And I feel a lot of regret and really bad for what happened back then. Because I feel like I could have put a stop to a lot of the sexual things that were happening back then, but I couldn't because I was a child and I didn't know better. And that makes me feel absolutely horrible. And it's why I feel I have to be honest about this thing. I have to do this right. Because I didn't do it right in the past. I messed up. I looked at things that I shouldn't have looked at back then. I talked to people who I shouldn't have talked to. And they did things with me that I shouldn't have experienced. I think that is the best way to apologize for what happened back then. Because I didn't handle things right. I'm not proud of who I was back then. I'm not a pedophile either. A lot of people say that, okay, I talked to pedophiles when I was a child and I'm not a pedophile now. But they were doing inappropriate things to me. They were showing me inappropriate stuff. They were making me do inappropriate things. I was being groomed. I was being sexually taken advantage of in a way that required a lot of manipulation. And that is why I started to adopt such messed up, abhorrent beliefs. Because as being in this area where I was being used for porn, for sexual gratification, I stopped viewing myself as a human, but rather as somebody whose job was to entertain, who I found purpose in giving Hex and Ahmed boners, essentially. And, that was messed up. That was messed up, not just for me, but for other people. And with therapy, I am doing much better. I
Sample, shut the
do
fuck
not
up. God,
have
are you not listening?
proper medication for post-traumatic disorder. I am looking to see a doctor very soon.
Maybe if you opened your damn ears, you would actually hear something. Okay, no, that's kind of obvious, but just genuinely listen for once. God. You listen to one thing and never listen to the other side of the story. I'm tired of it.
You don't have to. There's gonna be people who are jerks. You don't have to. Well, yeah, I get why you're frustrated too, because Irwin Productions says I should probably end this stream. Wonder why they said that.
Bullying isn't going to do fuck, Sample. Bullying isn't going to do anything. Throwing around words like that isn't going to do fucking shit.
But I honestly though, I do feel like I kind of got a little bit of closure saying what happened back then, because I am mad at myself. Okay, I don't want people to misunderstand me whatsoever. I'm very mad at myself for what happened back then. Um, However, uh, I have decided that quitting YouTube isn't the best decision for me. It isn't the best decision for other people too. What I did was horrible, yes, but I was a child, and um, children don't have the maturity to understand sex, especially if they're being sexually manipulated and taken advantage of. Then it makes things even more complicated and a lot more
Taylor Sharkey
worse.
said they can understand why some people are upset about this, just acknowledge what you did and move on from it. I wish it was really that easy to move on, because like no matter what Poppy says, it's not really gonna change anything. Sadly, I hate to see that. I wish things can change.
Yeah, I just don't want people to be scared of being friends with me anymore, because I, I constantly hear people saying that they're scared of being friends with me because they think that other people are going to cut them off for being friends with me. That's scary. And
Yeah, we have one friend. I'm not gonna say his name, but yeah, you know who I'm talking about, right, Poppy?
yeah,
Yeah, he says like he doesn't really like he in our projects. He says he wants to remain anonymous and shit because of this. It kind of sucks to see. But yeah, like Poppy has apologized. Like at the same time, some people will still be upset. We need to understand.
well, I
People have
feel, I
opinion that's
don't
sort of being
know,
content created. Again,
I
I'm
don't
a
know what
bias as I know.
people. By the way, Sailor Sharky, if you want something specifically addressed, I am free to address. If you want me
Yeah,
to apologize for something, just ask what it is, and I will address it. That's one of the purposes of this live stream, because there is just a plethora of content, of stuff that is being said against me. I mean, the document is long. It is very long. Uh, uh, where did I have it open? And because I also understand that a lot of people do not really like hearing explanations for things too. So I don't.
Sailor Shark is probably the most mature person in this chat. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Exactly. Sailor Sharky's actually like trying to help instead of just
Yeah.
harass, harass, harass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apologizing, we already did. That's the thing. Poppy said she was guilty, and as for the things that was like, as for the felon, as for quote unquote, Poppy did apologize on her server. She said she didn't realize that what she did would come off as sexual. That wasn't her intention.
So
For and she said, and as I said before, she said that like like if something comes off like that, we can tell her, let her know. Who's the other guy that's talking? Me? Talking about me, Mr. Sonic Ultimate?
Two other people in here.
Oh yeah, I'm Zero. XERO. I'll also speak in chat real quick.
okay.
So, Black hole is it's Plum / Vocodex replacement.
Okay, Mofix was just like an asshole, I think. I don't remember much from that.
I have no idea what even happened in this whole Mofix thing. I have no idea. And I'm not really going to say anything about that because I have no idea.
Oh, I remember saying that. Okay, so here I told Magma that she should probably save up money for therapy because there's pedophiles in the Shmoo crew. I don't really regret saying that because I did end up spending that much money on therapy, so I do apologize a little bit.
According to Zero, no, Evie said that, not me.
I do apologize for burning myself. I don't think that was the appropriate response to what was happening. What happened to me was very inappropriate. I don't think Toot was right to say what they did. However, it wasn't right for me to burn myself, and I think that was a
Was
very
Mofix
scary
someone
thing
Fox
for a lot
/
of
Wolf
people.
guy? Yes. Mofix Dan Schneidered a bunch of 14. What?
Wait, what?
No idea. I have no idea about this.
I didn't know about that
so I'm a little
part.
bit surprised. I should probably look into that.
Honestly,
I should
don't.
probably look into that.
I was friends with Mofix a long time, and I never saw anything like that. At least nothing worse than the other people in the Q crew. However, I don't want to say that anything that the people who came out about Mofix are wrong or that they're lying, because that wouldn't make me much better than them. I feel I don't want to say that when somebody comes out about being sexually abused that you're lying, like Professor Toot did to me. Okay?
Nobody wants to believe the victim, that's the thing.
Professor Toot came out about how Mofix abused him, apparently. However, Toot also did, when I came out about being sexually abused, Toot went out of his way to deny what happened to me. And
It's a vicious double standard.
it's a vicious, exactly. So yeah. That's why I felt so frustrated back then.
Who's Black One is Vocodex getting replaced? That has. I thought that was common knowledge. As for Sailor Sharky, was Sebastian even part of the drama, or did he just disappear? He was not part of the Mantis drama. That was far back.
That was like a long time ago.
Sebastian
Wasn't Sebastian like a
No,
no? He wasn't a pedophile, but he was.
Alright, sample. Sebas would like fucking abuse his then girlfriend, and then later he like beat up a child or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he beat up a child.
I've never heard of that. What, he pulled a 6'9"? What the fuck?
Yeah, but also I do remember him sharing like NSFW images with minors back then. So take that as you will.
Not looking.
I'm not looking to look into that. Also, no wonder why Vocodex died. Just find him a new voice actor, please. Actually, Vocodex was never voice acted. All of his
like
sounds were synths.
We're not laughing. We're not laughing about like how that happened. It's just sort of ridiculous to the point that it's kind of funny.
Iconic Peter had the highest speeds of all the monsters.
When people get really stressed, it's more of a nervous laugh because this is a very, 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 very uncomfortable situation. Yeah.
I will take that how I will.
By the way, I feel like you guys are gonna like Dexel. I think Dexel works.
For me personally, I like Dexel. I like how he's not really any like he's not reminiscent of Sebastian's Vocodex. Also,
Yeah.
Storby can stay. She's cooler than Bentala.
Sorby's staying.
Yeah, Sorby's staying. And Glackle.
Vocodex only used the preset Omnisphere. Hey, actually, he used a preset Nexus. Actually,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. He might be an Omnisphere. They like to steal samples and shit. So
Yeah, let me just...
no, it will not be deleted.
no.
Let me see if I can... Yeah, so like...
That's That song is actually really fire. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, there's a lot. Both...
Show them the best part. Show them the best part.
I could just like show little clips of it. Yeah. Wait.
This is the best part.
I never liked this. I never liked this. Because I don't know. Bye. Oh wait, no, I'm
I don't give a fuck about any of it. I don't give a fuck enough about this. They just hit me up when you made a big old apology, an actual apology. It's good.
Have you been listening?
So yeah,
Dog.
Vocodex is gone, but I am replacing it with Dexel for sure.
What does that have to do with the allegations, like dead ass? Oh, we were just like saying that stuff because people were
Well,
asking.
the reason why is because in the document they brought up Vocodex for some reason.
That too.
Like, this is most of the stuff being brought up is stuff that people are exposing me for, which I think goes on to why a lot of the things that people have been exposing me for are very ridiculous, and they don't address any root problems or try to make the community a better place at any extent. This document was made to make me look like a crappy person who shouldn't be involved in the MSM community whatsoever. This wasn't a doc to address sexual abuse or actual things that I did bad.
Champion, listen, open your damn ears.
This document was made to destroy my character and come up with a reason for why I should leave the MSM community. This document, and I think the reason why they wanted me to leave the MSM community so badly is because I spoke up about what happened to me, how Abed sexually abused me, and how Hex did, and Mr. Zamboni did, and I was completely honest about what happened. And I think that's what scared them off. They wanted it to be private and secret. So that's why I feel like this document was written. And they do say it in the document that they're uncomfortable with how I spoke publicly about things that happened.
Also, did they say not to harass?
In this whole section here is to try to prove Abed as innocent by showing their DMs. God, seeing this DM. Look, whenever. See, here's the problem with this, with what Abed did. He didn't actually apologize for sexually abusing me, inviting me to sexual areas, and making sexual events with Mr. Zamboni, me, Lomina, and Hex. Lomina and Hex were minors, and Quazak. Abed organized sexual events with minors, and he also hosted an NSFW channel in his own server, which Mr. Zamboni later took leadership of, which became the Cheese Haven. However, the two most active members were definitely Abed and Mr. Zamboni. So that I think I probably need to start going over a lot of the evidence for what happened back then. Now the documents I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull them up on the other screen to avoid showing anything that is too inappropriate in case I need to censor anything. Actually, first I should probably go through the DMs that I first sent online today. Okay. So, oh jeez. Oh god. See, he's talking about bored minors. It's so creepy. I don't get how people were like trying to defend this because when you turn 18 and you're aware of the fact that you're talking to minors, usually you think, well, is this, an adult would think, is this worth it? Because I could go to jail for this, right? And Abed decided that it was worth it. So I don't know how people could defend that.
Could be a popularity thing.
Slap a dick on it. Ew. Ew. What is... Oh, God. What is here? Oh, sheesh.
I wouldn't look at that right now. Probably something in there. Probably.
The nice forehead.
Dude, he's so ugly, man. Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
He's talking about boar. Oh, yeah, he really, Abed really tried to, groom Quaslik into making porn. Like, he'd ask Quaslik to make a lot of vor. Like, this is... Oh, what the fuck? Ew! Oh! What the hell? Heck! Why did... Ew!
Yeah, you may need to block a little bit of that out, because...
Oh!
I even read a lot of this. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
recommend not,
I have no idea the people defend this guy. People defended this guy? Just saying, damn.
Oh! People defend this guy?
Oh!
I didn't even know this much. This was this has to be whoa.
Sonic, stop spamming.
Yeah, it's not, yeah. Come on.
Oh! I'm sorry for yelling. I'm gonna mute my mic so I can just fucking scream. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh, so nasty. Oh. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh god, that's nasty. That is nasty. Ugh. What the hell? Oh. Why do people defend Abed? Like, he's so weird and creepy. Do you think I need to look at more evidence, or it's do you think that was enough?
Crystal, please word that better. I swear to God.
Because I have more, by the way. I have more. I have so much information.
I think we've seen enough.
Yeah, very.
I think we've seen enough of this guy.
Really? Because people say that people say that I have been lying. That I have been lying about Abed abusing me. That I don't show examples of Abed abusing me personally. But he did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh fuck. Oh no.
Uh,
Okay.
Shit. Oh. Oh. I'm just gonna definitely.
I'm sorry. I don't think I can. I don't
um,
think I can handle it. I think I should take a break from the stream. I think I should take a break from the stream.
yeah, probably.